efficient and safe highway has brought numerous benefits to the people of Sierra Leone. This project, as the first operational highway in Sierra Leone history, making the first time a company has engaged in infrastructure development in Sierra Leone through a PPP model, which is the world has a strong confidence in Sierra Leone and that PPP can survive and thrive in Sierra Leone. The road has become a hotspot for various countries to visit and learn from, and the road has simultaneously increased intergovernment exchange and serves as a platform for Sierra Leone to showcase its level of national development. In particular, investors from Liberia, Ghana, Senegal, and Guinea, etc., have recently highly recognized and praised the accessibility of the road network in Sierra Leone. The successful construction and the standardized operation of the Wellington-Mashaka Highway have effectively contributed to the economic and social development, not only to the communities along the road corridor, but also to the whole nation. We can see more and more business opportunities emerging. We can see factories, we can see shops, we can see the development of industrial chains and the land appreciation along the roads. Moreover, the economic life, easy access to the medical facilities in Freetown, recreational journeys around the peninsula from the Waterloo access, and accessibility to other social facilities have been improved, not only for those living along this particular road corridor, but also for those living in up provinces who will travel to Freetown for different purposes. The project itself created more than 1,000 job opportunities directly. Tens of thousands of jobs are created because of economic benefits from the road corridor, which serves as an indirect job creation. The number is increasing every day. This project also provides a platform for human resource development and skill training. Reduction in travel time between Freetown and Mashaka. We should not forget just a few years ago it would take commuters 1 or 2 hours at the peak of traffic to travel from Freetown to Waterloo only. If we put ourselves in the shoes of an investor, the time spent in traffic jams alone from Jui to Waterloo is up to 3 hours. If you were an investor, will you still have confidence? The delay exhibited itself, it lost itself, but production time of communities, increased fuel consumption, increasing pollution, etc. Just a few years ago, the businessman could only cover 2 to 3 times a day from Freetown to Waterloo. Nowadays, the number has been increased to 7 to 10 times a day. The number of reductions in the number of accidents, fatal and non-fatal. The number of accidents between Freetown, Wellington, Mashaka, including fatal ones in the past, were very high. At the end of the construction of this road, head-on collision is completely eliminated. So many other accidents that have occurred along this road have been kept at a much lower rate. Freetown is decongested as more people tend to move along the road corridors, looking at the fact that it takes by far less time to travel from those settlements along the road corridor than before. Such movement is done in comfort also. Vehicle operating cost, which is basically the cost component in running a vehicle, has reduced a lot. This implies the amount of fuel consumption come down, cost of spare parts come down, the amount of money spent on mechanics reduced, lifespan of tires has increased, and more trips will be generated by vehicles on this stretch than before. These are the benefits that I have listed, but not all the benefits. However, since the commencement of the operation, the project, and faced numerous difficulties and challenges. I will just read out the outlines of all these challenges and focus on the first one. Here are the 7 main challenges, difficulties that we have been facing. The first one is the huge loss due to changes in exchange rate. The exchange rate of US dollars to Leone's has increased from 7,500 at the start of operations to the current 22,855. Failing to adjust the total timely in accordance with the contract has caused more than $16 million in loss. Number 2, hazard caused by overloaded vehicles. Statistics show that the ratio of overloaded vehicles, is 6%. Overweight vehicles pose a great safety hazard to other road users, especially the residents and their property along the road corridor, significantly shorten the highway lifespan, increase additional maintenance and operational costs, and serve impacts on the investor's investment repayment plan. Challenge number 3, illegal activities alongside the highway. Arbitrary parking of minibuses along the highway, especially near intersections and crossroads. On-road loading, offloading by trucks, using the turnover area as media driving, a divider as a permanent parking lot. Street vendors, and commercial waste on the highway. Challenge number 4, accidents on the highway. Accidents on the newly constructed highway caused by the negligence of the driver and their use of aging and faulty vehicles, overloading, and other factors resulting in the damage of road infrastructure frequently. What is worse is that the accident drivers always fail to compensate the damage, causing additional cost of maintenance to the road. Challenge number 5 is the improper use of registration number plate. I believe some of you have participated in the presentation meeting organized by the Ministry of Works. In that meeting, I showed 3 totally different vehicles using the exactly same registration number, which does not conform to the relevant standards. And number 6, illegal driving behavior. This includes heavy vehicles crossing the road and making U-turns in the middle of the highway where there are no crossings, driving in the opposite direction on the highway. Number 7 is illegal occupancy on the right-of-way. With the development of the highway and road network, there have been a lot increasing number of illegal occupancy on the right-of-way. For example, some companies and individuals have forcefully excavated the road base to build houses within the right-of-way. Planted utility poles, erected various types of billboards, built access roads over the media divider, and set up ramps for passing vehicles beside roadside direct ditches without permission. I will not go to the details of all these main challenges and difficulties. So there's some questions I mentioned during our meeting in the Ministry of Works. Please allow me to, Honorable Chair, please allow me to repeat those questions again. I believe those questions will result in some consideration in the public. So in the face of these challenges and difficulties, we cannot help but ask ourselves, are we going to let these challenges and difficulties destroy the convenience and improve the traffic that we have been experiencing? Are we going to let these challenges and difficulties shorten the lifespan of the road corridor without being properly maintained? Are we going to let these challenges and difficulties destroy the vibrant social and economic development along the road corridor that we have been witnessing together? Are we going to let these challenges and difficulties destroy what we are proud of? Are we going to let these challenges and difficulties give the national and international investors a negative impression that their investment is not protected? Are we going to let these challenges and difficulties prevent the road corridor from contributing to the Big Five of His Excellency? So the answer is definitely no. The answer is definitely no. To solve these difficulties and make improvements, here are the actions and policies that are requested. The first one is to adjust the toll tariff based on the current exchange rate according to the contract conditions to secure the investor from huge losses and ensure the long-term orderly development and continuous operation of the project. Just now when I mentioned the loss in the exchange rate, apart from the main challenges and difficulties, there were also Malaysia's fee evasion by detouring of vehicles. We have talked about all the huge losses caused by all these difficulties, by tariff lower than that of the agreement, by fee evasion, by extra maintenance costs, by increased interest expenses, accumulated huge losses amounts to more than $72 million. The second action requested is that to charge fines on overloaded vehicles.
I want you to repeat the figure.
72 million. The third one is to curb illegal activities which significantly affect the road user and the normal traffic alongside the highway. Number 4 is to enhance the management of safe and standard driving and vehicle compliance. Number 5, to strengthen the supervision and management of the proper use of vehicle number plates and to comply with the relevant laws and regulations. Number 6, to stop illegal driving behavior on the highway. Number 7, to maintain the right of way of the highway. So here comes to the third part, is the justification of the adjustment. According to the clause 10.4 of the concession agreement, the toll tariff shall be adjusted subject to a review by both parties whenever the exchange rate varies by 10%. Since 2017 up to now, the exchange rate changes from 7,500 up to 22,855.4. The exchange rate variation ratio is 205%, which is much more than the 10% stipulated in agreement. According to our statistics, if according to the contract conditions, the adjustment is long due, it is supposed to be done long time before in September of 2018. It is because of this government and because of our partnership that we have fought and suffered till this time. It means that, according to this clause, it means that the adjustment is justified by the agreement. When the project starts tolling, the unit price charged was itself lower than the contract price. And during the epidemic, we reduced the unit price in accordance with the government's instruction. Major operating costs, such as diesel, have now risen substantially. The combination of all these factors has resulted in us operating in debt. We are running at a loss all along and incurring significant losses. At the same time, the daily maintenance and the substantiality of the roads are our key considerations. And only by adjusting the prices can we ensure the proper maintenance of the road. The current adjusted price is much lower than the price that should be adjusted according to the contract. And we have already made significant sacrifices and concessions. To adjust toll tariff based on the current exchange rate according to the contract to secure the investor from huge loss and to ensure the long-term orderly development and continuous operation of the losses of the project is very important. This adjustment is not only for this project. We want to work with the government and people of Sierra Leone to create a successful investment project that will attract more investments to Sierra Leone in the short term and in the long run ahead. All investors will be concerned about the safety, the effectiveness, the subsequent survival, and the substantial adequacy of their investment. So in summary, infrastructure is the foundation of a nation's livelihood, economic development, and commerce in Sierra Leone. And it is primary means of improving lives and benefiting the people in Sierra Leone. The PPP model is also worldwide recognized as an infrastructure investment and development model. Presently, the government of Sierra Leone is actively promoting such projects, which is effectively supporting His Excellency the President Dr. Julius Malabio's agenda of development. Infrastructure investment projects require deep understanding and strong support from the government to ensure being more attractive to investors. I'm here to request you, to begging you, to pleading you for to assist in ensuring the effective implementation of the terms of the contract to reduce losses of the investor and mitigate the risk of investment, which would make sure such project to develop stably, orderly, and substantially. As I have said before, this road is not only for the government of Sierra Leone. The real beneficiaries are the road users. So please come together to cherish and protect this road corridor. We firmly believe that with the outstanding and significant support of you, the field of infrastructure development in Sierra Leone will prosper, and we can achieve better development, cooperation in PPP projects and other areas. Thank you again. Thank you for your outstanding consideration and substantial support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, we are taking notes. We have the agreement before us. You quoted 10.4 and I was I went straight to 400 members for us that doesn't have the agreement. The toll tariff shall be adjusted subject to a review on the base traffic. Subject to a review on the base traffic data by both parties whenever the exchange rate varies by 10%. The concessionaire shall ensure that the toll tariffs are published at such time so as to enable the adjusted tolls to be charged with effect from the requisite dates under the concession agreement at any rate not later than 2 days after mutual agreement. Review of the base tariff data and the concessionaire over the ministry, the government of Sierra Leone, shall ensure that the toll tariff are published at such time so as to enable the adjusted tolls to be charged. I am reading this portion because I was in this parliament when this agreement was passed. I am still on record. I am on record that some of us challenged disagreements. I am still on record. But the fact of the matter is we have an agreement that was ratified by the majority of members of parliament and binding by the states. I could still remember in 2017 when we were passing this agreement. I was extremely vociferous and I still stand on my position. But that will not stop government from implementing what was ratified in this parliament. After today, after the end of this process, I'll recommend to the Ministry of Works to look at this agreement again, if need be, so that we have an agreement that should stand the test of time. Some of us envisage this, and we are record. I know I've been quoted by the media. I've refused to make statements. When people make agreement for their own selfish reasons, others will have to suffer, and that's what we are suffering today. When the agreement was brought here, I was strong, I was very, very vociferous. I stood and said, in the last dispensation, that the future of this country will have to suffer. I'm still on record. The answers are there. Today, they are exonerated. And I know the minister is under pressure, but he has no, all of us, we have no option. Some people took this decision at a period whilst we told them that tomorrow people will suffer. And I see people playing politics with these things, which are not correct. And people who are playing politics are the people who are advised. And they were here, they were posted, they have the majority. And even today I will tell my government, if you are passing laws that are not good, tomorrow, posterity to judge you. If you want to play politics with something, you get deliberate and very boastful because you have the majority. Today, we are here and we have no option as a government because we cannot in sin win against our own laws.
Mr. Chairman, please, Mr. Chairman.
So, I'm just
please, Mr. Chairman, please.
I have so much emotion, passion for this agreement.
Mr. Chairman, please take it out of this place.
Yes, thank you.
And allow the witnesses.
I have listened to
the minister. Let's allow the minister.
They have done their presentation. Mr. Minister.
Yes.
We are here.
Yes, sir.
You have a project. You was part of SLR while supervisor. No, it was actually one of very SLR, do you want to? We have listened to CRSG. Sorry, I just thought I was in the last slide. That's why I we have listened to the presentation as have been made by CRSG. You have parts of you have a project manager besides. You have listened to the justification. We want to listen from you. You are our
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Let us be attentive, please. Silence.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Of course, all the members of the committee all the members of the committee for this opportunity. We are always delighted to hearken to your call because we know it always has a way of improving our own efficiency and performance as an institution. So it's good that we're here. I think I would like to start from the point of view that I'm sure some of you are aware. For those who are not aware, there are two sets of agreements within one. One has to do with the concession itself, which was signed by the Ministry of Works and of course the CRSG. And then there is the works contract, which was signed by the SLRA contractor, the same as the CRSG. This very rules authority, like the chairman just said, we are technical experts, and our realm is around the roadworks itself, the light.
From where?
Okay, well, you move that way. Move that way.
Sir, are you a journalist? From where? Huh?
Accreditation, please.
Are you an accredited journalist in Spanish newspaper?
We form a newspaper.
Huh?
We form a newspaper.
You have any
And you, which
Mr. Chairman, I mean, the guy, the gentleman there is part of our media team. I call him for the records.
I think they are all journalists. And it's the one you just asked to adjust the light.
Did you really listen, sir?
Right. So, as I was saying, and of course, reiterating what the chairman just said before passing on the mic is we are the technical experts and our expertise reigns in the road sector. So the road component of this agreement was actually seen by us, which means we were responsible for supervision of the roadworks. And I mean, from the presentation of CRSG, it tells you that we were expeditiously done our own part of that agreement to ensure that we supervise what was planned. I mean, it's being seen and it's being implemented with all of the globes around it. We've had a few, if I may just confirm, we've had a few international road agencies coming in to see what has been done here, to be replicated in their own country. So that's a deep pride. I mean, no one can take that away. So, I mean, they also raise some challenges. We are not oblivious of those. I mean, we could resolve those those challenges in an amicable way. Some of them we could not address automatically, but then over a period of time we would resolve them. As it regards the increment, the toll fee, I mean, that aspect is enshrined in the concession agreements for which the Ministry of Works takes full responsibility of that agreement. I mean, and of course, even the very clause I was quoted, 10.4, can be found in that clause. So, what we can do as the SRA is, if there are any technical issues, advice that will be required in that respect, I mean, we are always humble and ready to provide those. Right? So, at this point, I think that's where I want to stop.
So, contractor, before going to the minister, sorry. You are supposed to be reporting on this project and full collection to the government. Have you been doing your reports?
Yes, Honorable Chairman. Since the beginning of this project, during construction period and also during the operation period, we have been submitting regular reports to the government authorities.
Including financial reports?
Yes, in that report, the main content is the roads maintenance, operation, financial accounts, financial situation, and also challenges, and also the operation and maintenance activities that has been done.
So, have you been reported the day's traffic?
Yes, traffic data and also collection.
Traffic data collection. Do you have evidence of those?
Yeah, we submit this regularly.
To FLI. What's the timeline of submission?
it is a quarterly report.
When last did you submit?
Pardon?
When last did you submit? When last did you submit?
The last time we submit is beginning of this February.
You submitted it?
Yeah, 2024.
So we should, at that moment, we should.
Yes, Chairman. So who did you submit?
You say you submit to SLI, right?
Yes, salary.
So let them verify that.
SLI is what I will verify.
Let them verify that.
Is that project manager? The reason I am deliberate when I ask this question. The whole public is asking, we want to know what has been generated. If for any reason they are running after laws as have been presented, they should be given their reports because they should not be running the two in isolation. SLRA, CRSG, you are providing the oversight of them. That's why you have a project manager of the site to verify and ascertain whatever document they present to you. Have they been sending reports on the road and the financial reports to you on a quarterly basis?
So at this point, there's one man who has been here throughout Leone. I will let him address.
Engineer Kome is the director of assets and the project manager. He's a very senior director. Mr. Director, have you been receiving documents, reports, including financial reports from CRSG?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
A quick one, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'm still not convinced that they have been receiving reports. Because, Mr. Chairman, can I because the fact of the matter is the Director General could not tell this committee exactly because we are still having the same comments with the Director. The Director reports to the Director General. So by every indication, it's to prove that the Director General has no idea of the reports are coming in. So that's why he switched the answer. The question to let me do an
Mr. Chairman, in any case, if CRSG is providing quarterly status of that report, there is every reason for the director to be updating the Director General in their management meetings. So, for the DG to tell this committee that he cannot answer that question. But Mr. Chairman, please. No, Mr. Chairman, please. We are lying. Of course, we are lying.
he switched the question.
He passed the mic over to the director. No. But
Let's be with ourselves. I'm just guiding you.
We are on record.
And nobody is saying, nobody's against what you're saying. You are just guiding that they are here as a team.
I agree.
Thank you.
But what I am saying, if I am not doubting it, but I want to believe the SLRS do have their SLRA do have their regular management meetings.
Thank you very much, Mr. Director General. Honorable members, let's have one meeting, Mr. Director General. You listen to the CRSG are saying that they are claiming. Honorable members, the reason why I have not wanted because that's another form of investigation that this committee will be taking after this whole process. This is a committee that is providing oversight. We'll have to look at all of these documents after
will have to verify, will have to come out, claim to the public that this is what actually based on reports the SLRO became on us and those CRS will be requesting thereafter. And we'll complain to the public that this is what we have seen and these are the reports. And at the end of the day, if we do not have the capacity, we will recommend that we have a special audit team to audit the reports if they have been given to say this, the SLI and the report will get. At the end of the day, what did we have listened to that concerns? You listen to your director. Have you been receiving the quarterly reports?
So we're here as a team. Otherwise, only the Director General would have been summoned here. So which means whatever statement comes from any member of my team, SLRA should take the full responsibility of it. Just one. Also, I did not pass on the mic because I could not answer the question. I did so because there is a need for the, I don't call it institutional, but like the knowledge of the project knowledge. Engineer Kome has been there from the inception to this point. I have been in different departments for ascending to the position in which I am. So I think he was in a better position to address that question.
Mr. Chairman, we don't want to go into that. Because if that's the case, we don't want to go into that.
Mr. Chairman, I have said this is the beginning of the investigations. This is leading us to a series of analysis.
Yes. We are going to ask them to submit to us documents.
Definitely.
Not so?
Definitely. So we're presenting the answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Mayor. You see, Mr. Minister.
No, the minister has not said anything.
I just want to raise something very important.
No, there will come to your question.
It's not question. It's just a comment. I just want to draw his attention to this very advantage. For a government as a public representative, you had public outreach. The government
Mr.
Chairman, I'll wait.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Mr. Minister, you have listened to the contractor and you have listened to our professionals. Do you want to now talk to us? Then you have the floor.
Thank you, my handsome chairman.
Mr. Minister,
The man is handsome. Like it or not. Chairman is handsome.
I got that one.
And I make no apologies for that. Thank you again, my handsome chairman. Honorable members, some of us have great respect for Parliament. This is why we are here. So before I really conclude my own presentation properly, it will be better for all of us and our people in this country to properly digest and understand. To properly understand and digest why we are here. We are here because of the process we have gone through that led to a proper review of the now existing 2A charges. So I would like to hand over the mic to the professional head and chief director, so that after his explanation regarding the process we took, again, continue the mic to further the discussion. The reason being, I don't want anybody to leave here with any misconception. I don't want anybody to leave here with any iota of doubt. But after his explanation about the process and why we're here, and the MDs involved, believe you me, I think tempers or temperament or misconceptions would have been solved. So, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, please let the page dilate on that, and then I continue my discussions. Please, not more than 5 minutes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Minister. Mr. Chairman, honorable members of Parliament. The ministry got proposal from CRSG for an increase in toll rates. After the minister received such a proposal, he summoned a meeting of key stakeholders. There are two meetings. There was the first meeting wherein the chairman himself attended, representative from the Ministry of Finance, representative from the Ministry of Transport, from SLR, the DT himself was there. They deliberated on it. And then they agreed that they should call up a broader stakeholder representation for them to discuss such an issue. A second meeting was called, in which I attended. I actually moderated the process. Those present in that meeting were about 23 MDs, including civil society, the trade unions, and the transport owners association. Ministries in that meeting were the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Police, Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Police, Ministry of Transport, to name but a few. The same presentation which the CRS representative actually done was also done. The CRSG presented the benefits of the toll road, the benefits of foreign direct investment in this country, and the challenges. And then we deliberated upon the justification why we require an increase in the toll rates. Several discussions here and there for various proposals came up. But what was agreed on in that discussion was the proposal for an increase across the board. With Group 1, the meeting agreed that there should be an increase from 1 leone to 3 leones. With Group 2, we agreed that there should be an increase from 2 leones to 5 leones. Group 3, which has to do with the jeeps, the SUVs, an increase from 4 leones to 10 leones. With Group 4, the minibuses, an increase from 18 leones to 40 leones. And then Group 5, which is the most controversial, critical one, an increase from 183 leones to 700. The meat is stalled when we reach actually 5, because some people propose 250, some of them say 500. The proposal from CRS is about a little over 1,025. Yeah, the 2 million later on, what came up with 1,025 million. We deliberated upon it. Civil society was also present when we got together, representatives from various civil society organizations. We agreed in that meeting.
You want to bring the mic closer?
That meeting that the Group 5 should be 700 millions. And then the Group 6, which is currently 100 millions, should be 250 millions. So that was compiled and presented to the minister for next steps. So that was what we did in the discussions. It was compiled in the meeting and presented to the minister for further actions. So when we received this proposal from CRSG, it was discussed in 2 meetings, and the final meeting should agree that there should be an increment in 2 stages. And what is presented currently in the first stage increase. So that's all I know about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, we have listened to the Chief Director, we call him the professional head, living a king on planet Earth. Mr. Chairman, I'm sitting here again as a proud Australian who believes in the rule of law. Mr. Chairman, I'm sitting here again as somebody who means well for this country. I will never indulge on my credibility, integrity, and the future of my child. Mr. Chairman, I'm proud to be the Minister of Works and Public Assets under the new-led second administration. Mr. Chairman, it is now clear that there was a technical committee formed. It consists of 23 MDs right across the spectrum of all the major players in the road sector that deliberated extensively on why, in fact, we should go according to this concessional agreement regarding the presentation made by CRSG here, Mr. Bill. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, I did not mean that God really loved this country. I can say here with all pride that this document will never be in the public domain. When I became Minister of Works and Public Access on the 1st of August 2023, this document was never in the office. I didn't meet it there. This is the concession agreement between the government of Sierra Leone and the China Railway 7 Group Warren Utawa. I only came across this document when Mr. Bingo and the CRG approached me and then we started discussions on the possible review of the toll gate charges. As a very good educated Shabina, I asked them, where is the contract document? I repeat, I asked them so that people will stop discussing things they don't understand over radio. So where is the contract document? They brought it for me. Who brought that for you? Remember, Mr. Tawa, can I continue my presentation, sir? Go on. The first thing you need to know, remember, this thing was not in my office. They brought it for me because it was part of the negotiations and the arrangement. No, I'm sorry, that's why I speak, don't worry.
I want to know how do you access what it for you?
Simple. Answer the questions of the communication.
Honorable members,
cool down the
Let me just finish.
Mr. Minister, you are addressing us.
Oh yes, Mr. Chairman, my handsome chairman. So let me proceed now. When I got this document, I took 3 solid days to go through it properly. 3 sleepless nights. Imagine an economist facing now a legal situation, and then this thing on the floor discussing the possible review of the toll gate charges. And I want to say thank you very much to the Works Committee here. They have been so helpful in all of our endeavors. And because God took guide all of you here, they've been part and parcel of the process. Honorable Sati was there. Chairman was there. But then, let me take you through to some clauses. Forget about clause 10.4. This document was signed in December 2015. I can say it. I was in there as Minister of Works and Public Assets. His Excellency President was in there. It was signed in December 2015. The better we understand this document and read it, I think the more our people will informed accordingly. Because a lot of misconceptions have been made on issues they don't understand. Before I get to clause 10.4, let me read this one important clause first. About this misconception why CRSG started collecting toll gates before the end of the completion. Let's start from there, please. And then you know that these are people that went according to the law. You know, as academia, we believe in documents. We read too much. This is our problem.
What page are you taking us to?
Yes, just wait, please. Briefly. 2.5. No, it's not 2.5. Wait. And go back to proper. I've seen it. Keep on. Now listen, 9.1.3. Take it down so that you stop misinforming our people. But it's true. Commissioning. That's commissioning.
Mr. Minister,
sorry. I forgot that. Sorry, sir.
You refer us to
Honorable members, let me just go to 9.1.3. 9.1.3.
Page 21.
9.1.3. I read. The concessionaire may only charge and collect tolls in accordance with clause 10. The collection of such tolls shall commence. Listen, shall commence, all members, after widening of the existing road to 4 lane from 0 kilometer to 10 kilometers, and after attaining 30% of the site clearing works on the entire road. They did it. All members, that was why I was in there. Most of us were not there. That was the justification as bent down in this contract. Why CRG started collecting toll before the completion of the project. So they had rights, according to this document, to have done so. I wasn't there. Let us go again to. Let us go again, please. Before I come to 10.4, let us go again to payments. I want us to understand again, because for members, people again have taken over the year and are giving misconceptions regarding the percentage of the gross revenue that CRG is giving or paying or transferring to the government. Please listen again. Payments. 2.5 payments. 2.5 payments. 2.5.1. Okay? 1, 2, 3. The 4th lines. Okay, let's start. Same as expressly provided in this concession agreement and subject to clause 2.5.2, the government of Sierra Leone shall, during the repayment of the loan and interest by the concessionaire to their lenders, the concessionaire, ladies and gentlemen, CRSG, to the lenders, receive from the concessionaire 5% of the gross income total revenue annually, and not 10%. All members, people have gone over the year again.
Mr. Minister, address us.
Okay, sorry. It's 5% and not 10%. Let me go to my it is 5% and not 10%. I think great exception to those who have really misinformed. Secondly, again, this is again something I want all of you guys to understand again. Sorry, all members. I need to stand. Please, I really expect. Let me stand. Because when I'm sitting, I really forget that I'm really here. I'm really very sorry. So let me stand.
All it to do for us, Mr. Minister, just calm down.
I know Mr. Minister.
Okay.
That's his disposition as a person. Thank you.
Okay, please. My apologies. The last sentence. After the completion of the loan, I want us to understand this again, because this is something really damning. After the completion of the loan and interest payments, the assumption is that we have not paid as a government. The concessionaire shall pay to the concessionaire on a yearly basis 10% of the gross income total revenue. That is where the 10% will come in. Mr. Chairman, let me take us again to another very important aspect of this arrangement. In fact, this now is going to put, to hold everything regarding documentation. Yes, Mr. Chairman, all members, 3.5. Let us take into consideration. The concessionaire to make documents available to the concessionaire. Now we are asking for financial reports. We want to know how much they have collected, etc., etc. Let us go to the agreement. The last sentence here says, the concessionaire shall not be obliged to disclose any document in respect of which the concessionaire can claim legal privilege against the concessionaire.
Who wrote this? Where?
Please, let me just finish.
Please.
So the reason I'm reading it is because you want the contract to understand that all members. Exactly. I wasn't there.
Honorable members, please. In our own WhatsApp group, I told my MPs that we should not be making comments other than research. This is our document. This document was ratified in this parliament. We have a copy, we have copies. We have them. The copies in the library. This is our document. We are just reading these portions, these sections, for the public to understand.
Exactly.
But for us, honorable members, we should not be shocked. This is no shock at all. This was ratified in this parliament in 2015. It came, it was defeated. In less than 2 weeks, it was brought again. So I know this document.
So let me finish, Mr. Chairman. With all respect. 3.5. The concessionaire to make documents available to the concessionaire. The concessionaire shall not be obliged to disclose any document in respect of which the concessionaire can claim legal privilege against the concessionaire. Let me proceed. Documents in respect of which the concessionaire can claim legal privilege against third parties shall be held in confidence by the concessionaire in terms of clause 3.65, as if the concessionaire was bound by that clause, provided always that this restriction, this is what is coming out, this restriction shall not prevent any disclosure by the concessionaire which is required by law or by state. All members,
we are still bound by these agreements, and we, as a government, are still to respect the provisions of this agreement. We want to leave that and we discuss around the issues that are up, because whatever is in this document is a law.
Exactly, Mr. Chairman.
Whatever is in this document
exactly.
is a law.
Simple, thank you. So on that note, honorable members, I just want all of us to understand that there are certain provisions in this particular contractual arrangement that we have to be careful when explaining the Wellington Material project to our people.
Yeah.
This was a private partnership investment model, the first of its kind in this country. 62 kilometers. And CRA spent $154 million to construct that road. When you calculate it, it gives us a cost of $2.4 million per kilometer for 4 lanes. And if you say 1 lane, which is of course 92 stretches, it's $1.2 million. The DG here will tell you exactly that road construction is a highly capital intensive project. We will tell you exactly how much a kilometer of road costs on average. It's so exorbitant. So this is it, 2015 to now. But the good thing is that CRAG rarely, I'm not saying because they're here, they have expressed utter patience and management humility. The good thing is that they have never at any point threatened litigation against us as government. They have never, unlike other contracts who have entered into, they have never. The same, Mr. Minister, you have to understand our point. And that point takes up now to clause 10.4 that he has read. It's clearly binding. That we need to review this toll gate charge when the exchange rate varies by 10% over time.
Thank you. You want to present us your recommendations?
Yes, of course.
Can we see them?
One, before I go to the recommendations, I just want to tell you what has happened today. No, what has happened today that's good so that you can understand. The motor drivers and driver workers union And these petroleum dealers, they met me in my office yesterday and 2 days ago. After explaining this to them, especially with categories 5, where the problem is, we are misconstruing 10 tires to less than 10 tires. In fact, there are people that pay 183 loans. When this new review comes to effect, if you ratify it, they'll pay now 40 loans. This is something we don't understand. Because there is a clause there, clause 4, group 4, which is less than 10 tires. So that means some people will be paying 40 loans and not even 183 loans. But then because of the 10 tire and above, 12 and the trailers, this was a good thing now. He's here, they can guide me. Tonnage. We have some with almost 20 CRD. If we can also enjoy that advantage, that when we are going, we are empty, let us pass freely. And when we are coming, and then we have some products, we can pay, which is good. Which is really good. Because what they are saying is really is the pressure. Yeah. I'm not here. If I have my power to even discuss CRD about any possible increase. You know, sometimes it's not easy to be a government minister, but you have to do your job. Especially if you are bounded by contractual arrangements over time, that you are not there to make some recommendations. So going forward, Group 1 has no problem, and Okadas will not pay. Mr. Chairman, again, I've heard people say Okadas will pay. Let us stop this misinformation. Let me just make it. 2 minutes now.
A copy of the recommendation.
No, I will send it from here. I will send it. 2 minutes now.
Because we want to look at it.
No, I will send it from here when I get back to the office. You know, this morning, we are still grappling with energy supplies. Secondly, Group 1 is not a problem. The other one, of course, it's not okay. Group 2 is not a problem. My class, it's okay. Somebody's phone. Group 3 again, it's not a problem. SUVs. Mr. Chairman, you have SUV. Status, you have, everybody have, it's okay. Group 4, small medium buses, again, it's okay. The problem people are saying is because these are the trucks or these are the transportation facilities bringing goods and services from the region, which is correct. Mr. Chairman, we have discussed with CRG. I can't discuss that, but they're here. They have warmed up to that idea of considering some categories of that particular sector to some amount of reduction that will be a win-win situation. But what I would like, Mr. Chairman, there are some trucks that are crawling along that highway, destroying the highway with overload. Right now, they will tell you that we have even started discussions, the actual road policy, which again will be another problem, honestly. The actual road policy, which again will be another problem if we really think about implementing it, but we are not. So, the whole issue about this is understanding the categories. Define one group 6. These are the fair boundaries. 3, there are specifications. 3 to 4 axles. 2 axles, you don't mean that. So going forward, if we really embark on a real and honest sensitization or awareness raising, and we are telling our people exactly what they need to know, they will understand. So that we don't bring politics to this, we will all honestly be happy at the end of the day. So let's see now. CRG have been doing well, but Mr. Chairman, non-investor in this world, simple economics, want to operate the business, relationship is really running at loss. I know honorable members here who have met me in my office for rent and payments for their own businesses. And we have settled that.
Private matter.
No, I'm not saying it. I can say that 100%. I've done some calculation, I'll show you later, about the financial analysis and its implication if we don't review and consider a win-win situation on this matter. I'm happy it's going to be deliberated now by Parliament. We've got all the documents and have great faith in Parliament. But the basic thing I want us to understand before I lay down my mic is that, honorable members, close your eyes and assume you are the Minister of Works and Public Assets now. And this thing comes to your table for discussion. and then there are contractual arrangements binding this government and the China Radio 7 group. And then your people are in the middle. And then your own future, again, is hanging in the balance. What will you do? Will you rely for our people that they are not captured in the contract? Or what will you do? Will you again try to put spanner in the works of private investors that we need in this country to move our country forward? Okay. So going forward, as Minister of Works, I'm here for a review, for you to judge me at the end of the day. But what I've done with my own intent and spirit is the right thing. And the Almighty God or Allah will continue guiding me and every step I take. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Thank you, Director General. Thank you, the professional CRSG. Mr. Minister, this agreement is the product of this House. I don't believe anybody will question an agreement. But at this moment, as a percentage, the chapter that is questioned. I want to thank the RSG for exercising a lot of patience before now. I want to thank them because when we are passing it into law, we did not consider today. Before now, 10% increment we have had. The current exchange rate increment is 205%. And CRSG has exercised a lot of patience for not increasing their to 205% increment. They should have done that like 20 times now. Because for every increment of 10%, that's about 10.4, they should have increased this on the exchange rates. Thank you very much for considering that. At this moment, Mr. Minister, I'd ask for you to send us, for us to have a look at the current proposals in terms of rates officially. We have seen that from social media, but we don't want to see actually. We want to see and do our own input as representatives of our people. Because whatever we do, whatever laws we pass, the people comes first. We consider them high. Had it not been for our people, we would not be where we are. So whatever law, whatever agreement we forward we are taking, we will consider the interest of our people. So we don't have a copy now. You said there are new proposals. We hope to see the new proposals again. And as a committee will make and take decision. We hope the new proposals will stop the public crime or will reduce, because the public crime will always continue, will minimize the public crime. The new proposal we are expecting should consider the interest of our people. So Parliament will wait, the committee will be patient before Monday.
To admonish, and I'm happy that the minister, by the time he was wrapping up, he was able to understand that he shouldn't take this issue with emotions. As a parliament, Honorable Bash and I, we are part of a few MPs. I think we are the only MPs that we are part of the process of ratification of this particular solar agreement. And I could remember when that document was brought to the square, the first MP that debated on that document was a member of the opposition, Honorable Jeki. He cried the document, and it was followed by Honorable, there was a member of Parliament from Wellington, and of course Bash himself debated. Because of the hue and cry of the House, the Speaker then thought it was not prudent for us to continue with the ratification. So it was sent for further consultation, like you have now proposed for a new review, which is good. That's the way to go. Our concern here is not about who has the power to increase or decrease. They are investors. It doesn't matter which government is in power today. The APC was in power we brought in this because we knew that it has so much advantage if that road was widened. We know the convenience it creates now. And their investors, we need to attract more investment. But in doing so, the interests of our people should be at the fore, whilst we also protect the interests of investors. The Chinese people have exercised so much patience. And I think if they can do it then, when they brought in charges, exorbitant charges, because of the spirit of the house at that time, they accepted for an amendment or a communique to reach out, wherein all players, like you mentioned, were called upon. The drivers' union, I think, there was a communique. So when the agreement was represented to the house, we debated two documents now. We debated the communique in tandem with the concession agreement. So I don't know, in fact, it was the concession agreement that had the fees that they used that they charge. In a sense, even the agreement itself was part of the agreement. So then I don't know. That's why if you go to the lab, you read those two documents there. So debated. So I want to say your defense for proposing talking about 3.5. 3.5 is not in concession here. Section 93(6)(b) is clear. Parliament has the power to compel the production of documents as the case may be. But Section 10.4, whoever thought of this clause, Mr. Chairman, I think it was well thought of. That person was indeed very much patriotic. It was for the good of the country as well as the company. Because you do not have the accountant in the CRSG to be able to tell you how much of gross income they are being disclosing or being reporting. The only way you can verify the 5% they are paying you is based on the traffic data. That's why every vehicle that passes there, they take a shot of it. So if you are really particular, I think this one should not be in concession. The fact that the clause 10.4 is saying that for any review to be done, the company needs to produce the traffic data. I think it is something that we must not put in concession. Compare them, as the agreement has already said, let them produce that. So we can exactly see how much they have been given to the government, and maybe we can even give them more. Because if you realize that the traffic data shows that there is some drop in the traffic data as expected during the time of the negotiation of this agreement, we can do something better. So please, I'm appealing that you cause the production of the traffic data, the increase of 10% or whatever based on the variation of exchanges is legal. That I must confess. When there is a change, they must, but they cannot do that without coming to us. So I'm happy that you are now in Parliament, and I do hope that when once you bring the adjustment, it will be brought to Parliament, and then Parliament will have a broader view in debating this. But I want to call that please let us have another review of the fees. If they done it in 2015, I do believe that the CRSG can do it again, so that Parliament can have a broader review of the proposed rates they have already proposed. The 200% is not too much considering the increase, but for now, I think it's too much for our people. Let us have a more reasonable rate that will reflect some increase, but also create some win-win situation. Thank you.
We have requested for the drafts because I know they have not increased 200%. I know they have not increased 200%. And we ratified the bill pricing, but we did not ratify 10.4. And even if we are going to be bound by the new prices that was ratified, then 10.4 is still implemented. It was in that parliament that was still doing that. We only adjusted 10.3. 10.3 was adjusted, and 10.4 is still part of the laws. And 10.4, I believe, is what CRSG and the ministry are relying on.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. This is a very complex and ambiguous situation we find ourselves, but by all means we have to do diligence to it, and whenever the evidence coming from both districts. Like the minister said in his presentation, that they are doing all they could and will continue to plead with you and the China Railway 7th group that let there be a win-win situation to this matter, because this matter hinges to our governance, and we have promised to the people of this country to do service delivery to them. So therefore, I will plead with you, with the ministry, the Sierra Leone Road Transport Authority, that you do all you could so that you minimize the suffering of our people. But going further, I disagree with my colleague that on 3.5, and it's contrary to the right to access to information that as a former deputy chair of the Ministry of Information and Communication, that this agreement, that they shall not be obliged to disclose whatever they are doing. I don't think it is in the modern world where there is transparency, and in governance we are doing things in good faith. There are some things we inherit in governance. It's not pleasant. It's not useful at all. Even though government is continuity, you cannot make an agreement that you cannot disclose what is being discussed. Why? What is the secrecy about it?
Are we still discussing this agreement, sir?
Yeah. So no,
the agreement is bounded by law.
I know it's binding by law, but I'm just looking at the ambiguities involved in it and the lacunas involved. I agree with you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just making a comment to that. You remember the first time I said that we do due diligence to it, but there are some things you inherit as a family that you will do your best to eat, but you have to say it what is right and what is add a question mark to it. So thank you very much. This is my observation to you. And please do all you can so that we come out with this situation.
Thank you. Honorable members, we have an agreement. That is fine. We have an agreement. And we are still waiting on the minister to send us a draft of the proposals. We are still, as a parliament, waiting on the minister to send a draft of the proposals. Thank you.
Yes, Chair.
So we are now
okay, Chair. Thank you so much. And thank you,
Minister. PH, please don't disturb the minister.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Mr. Minister and CLSG. So I have a few questions. Firstly, I want to know whether there was a price adjustment formula, and if there is none, don't you think that we need to get a price adjustment formula now for future purposes?
The
price adjustment formula.
No, it's in the contract.
Yeah, look at there is no price adjustment formula.
There's a price adjustment from that.
Yes, so what I'm saying is different. It's not that.
Can we review
what I'm saying,
Mr. Minister? Can we review the entire contract?
Well,
immediately after this, I am of the conviction that we should have it and review the entire contract.
So contract and fixed period.
Just briefly, just a second, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, the entire package that guides your deliberation forward are now here in Parliament. Like we are saying, Cabinet really has taken that decision for a proper review of this entire contract. So again, it's there. So when you receive your package, just go through it, we'll work honestly the way forward. But again, we also really in a very strong position to have this contract reviewed. And of course,
we need to review it because I think this is an opportunity, assuming without conceding that the contract was bad, yes. This is an opportunity for us to right the wrongs.
You're right. You have your package, you see them.
All right, and also it has to do with clause 3.5. Which says CLSG is not obliged to disclose documents. I want to know what constitutes those documents that the CLSG should not disclose.
Because in clause 16 it states that the CNSG should disclose all accounting reports, financial statements, and profits and loss and all of these things. It is in clause 16. So I want to know what really constitute those documents that are not to be disclosed, because clause 16 indicates that we need to